In today's video, I will discuss the 6th EU Directive on anti-money laundering. During the video, I will recall the key changes introduced by the latest EU Directive and highlight which are the sectors and firms directly impacted by this EU Directive. So let's jump right into today's video. The 6th EU Directive on Anti-Money Laundering, which is also known as the 6th AMLD, came into effect on the 3rd of December 2020 with financial institutions and other firms that are regulated to follow the latest EU Directive as of June 3rd, 2021. Just after the 5th AMLD, that tightened AML CFT rules for the financial services sector, the 6th EU Directive expands on those rules, clarifies some of them, and increases the penalties for people who break them. I've grouped the changes introduced by the 6th AMLD into 5 areas in this video. So let's review some of the best bits of the 6th AMLD, starting with the alignment or the harmonizations of predicate offences. One of the 6 AML directives' intent is to set equal standards for money laundering rules implemented across the EU. The aim was to close outstanding legal loophole in the bloc to avoid that criminals can move their money laundering activities from one jurisdiction to another. To do so, the 6th AMLD expanded the list of 22 crimes that constitute the predicate offences behind money laundering, ensuring that tax violations, environmental crimes, and cybercrime are now part of this list. Since the 6th AMLD went into force, EU member states must ensure that their AML and CFT processes can effectively handle the increased risks that comes with a harmonized list of predicate crimes. To spot suspicious activities linked to the new list of predicate offences, firms were required to ensure employees have been sufficiently retrained and AML-related processes adjusted to keep into account the expanded list of crimes linked now to money laundering. The 6th AMLD also broadened the concept of money laundering, with aiding and abetting now being considered for money laundering and subject to the same consequences. Before the 6th AMLD, EU money laundering policies mostly focused on people who directly profited from money laundering, whereas the new rules included in the 6th EU Directive also applies to those enablers of money laundering activities. Aiding and abetting in fact implies that everyone who's facilitating money launderers by supporting those activities, even as a middleman, is now guilty of money laundering. Traditionally, only people were prosecuted for money laundering, but with the 6th AMLD, legal entities such as corporations or partnerships, for example, can also be prosecuted. According to the new EU Directive, a legal person is liable for money laundering if the organization failed to stop a directing mind within the corporation from doing so. The directive lays AML CFT accountability on management as well as staff operating independently. This measure allows financial regulators to better target non-compliance firms, with legal entities facing sanctions that are ranging from temporary halt of activities to a permanent closure of the business. Before we dive into the next part, if you're finding valuable this video, make sure you subscribe to FinCrime Agent and press the thumb up. This will make it very easy for you to consume new videos from my channel, and your action will help this video to be seen more on YouTube. So thank you for your support. Let's now continue our overview of the 6th AML EU Directive. Natural people will now face up to 4 years in jail for money laundering offences. The EU is mandating member states to enhance this punishment from the previous limit of 1 year. This obviously demonstrates that the EU intends to take a tougher stance against anyone involved in money laundering. Harsher penalties, I think, are good. However, it's also worth noting that several EU member states already have significantly longer sentences than those imposed by the 6 AMLD. The 6 EU Directive encourages member states to work together in prosecuting businesses and people who engage in money laundering activities. Where a money laundering offence occurs under the jurisdiction of several member states, it is expected that all concerned member states must work together in determining which country can legally prosecute the individuals or firms that are under investigation. The directive also lists criteria to be examined when deciding this, such as the location of the crime, the criminal's nationality or the residence, the victim's place of origin, and the region where the perpetrator was discovered. And lastly, who is directly impacted and required to comply with the changes introduced by the 6 EU AML Directive. All financial institutions and legally bound organizations that work in the European Union are required to follow the 6 AMLD. Those companies include banks and other financial institutions, as well as accountants, attorneys, property management companies, and high-value art traders. The digital asset sector is of course also touched directly by the 6 AMLD, with crypto exchangers, digital asset service providers, and other cryptocurrency service providers all need to comply with the 6 EU regulation on anti-money laundering. So I hope to have summarized clearly enough the key changes introduced by the 6 AMLD. I'm now at the end of this video, so feel free to leave me your feedback or share your view using the comment space down below of this video. Also, remember to check the description of this video to find useful links and references from my research on 6 AMLD. You will also find there a link to my Patreon page where you can support the development of my FinCrime Agent project on patreon.com/fcagent. And lastly, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed today's video, and until next time, see you soon.